Hello everyone, this is the next Vanheim part. There was a lot of battles. I also casted packs of wolves to help me blood hunt. Got my vampire lord, found no magic sites. Didn't really get that many blood slaves this turn at all. There's a few battles that I think are noteworthy. This one not too much. I mean, just a couple ways against a lot of Russians. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they really took any casualties at all. Yeah, I mean, basically nothing. Very expensive loss for Zabalba there, but this fight, just me killing some independent chaff here. This is an interesting fight. So in this province over here, this is south of Abyssia. I think Nabal was taking this from Indies because it was like a gray flag flip or something. So he has this guy here who's got 55 shock resistance. Like basically immune to lightning damage, right? He's got this thing. He's got this guy. This stick gives him more. I think his bless even gives him some. Anyway, this is what he's going up against. Just a massive horde of size 6 air elementals. So, notably, their lightning swarm attack does do shock damage, but they also have a trample attack. Anyway, we can watch this. So they quickly descend upon the poor Jan. And if we check the bit here, yeah, so all of his mirror images get completely blown away rapidly. And then gets trampled. Took 14 points of damage on the trample. Because the trample is not... where is it? Here it is. Yeah, it's not actually lightning damage. So his lightning resistance isn't, or shock resistance, I should say. It's shock damage. His shock is not, it's not doing anything for him. So he kind of just gets smushed by these big air elementals. Frankly, though, he did actually avoid like a ludicrous amount of damage that he would have normally taken. Didn't really get to cast any spells, unfortunately. His blessing got interrupted. I think his bless probably could have helped him a little bit too. But yeah, even if you evade a trample, it always does a minimum of 1 point of damage to you. And yeah, look at all these luck triggers that saved his life from death, but it was not to be. So it was an unfortunate, expensive loss of 20 gems, but I'm not sure he knew that there were 25 air elementals in this province. This battle is pretty exciting here in the Tower of Heaven. So we have a massive clump of Vanarus forces, a lot of wizards in this army, a huge amount of wizards. Oh wow, that guy even has a crossbow. Cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a cool crossbow. Yeah, so, oh man, this guy even has items. Not like a huge amount of items. Does the other guy have items? He does. Oh man, and a skull staff too. He's got a lot of sacreds, a lot of these berserkers. This is a very elite force here. And what's he going up against? Well, just like one PD and one frog with a flesh eater and a vine shield. And fear, yeah, fear +5. What's this woman doing? Probably we'll watch what she does. So I'm kind of curious. Soul vortex, yeah, very powerful spell. She casts foul vapors, eh? But won't she? I think she'll probably die. I mean, there's so many Russian mage elements here. What did he cast? He cast Wailing Winds. Well, the Vanabog cast that. Okay, and Natural Storm, sure. I assume Van Roos expected a major battle here, and not just a single commander. I mean, yeah, he really kills those little bits of PD, that's for sure. Is this guy like exhausted or something? What's he doing? Yeah, he's over 100 fatigue. Yeah, I really can't. Oh, because he's casting skeletons. So she dies almost immediately and Foul Vapors goes away. But even still, Foul Vapors was on for a long time. And, yeah, I mean, he's getting... Oh my goodness, he lost both of his eyes. His attack skill is terrible, but 10% regeneration when you have 50 HP is pretty nice. Yeah. And so Vanaroos's Doomstack was defeated by a frog and Amazonian. Killed quite a number of Vanaroos's forces. I can't even say how many of these units actually got away successfully, because I mean, even though the casualties inflicted were incredibly immense, it's possible there were actually some maybe 10-20% more units died on the retreat just from RNG. So this was a insanely effective thug. I mean, Soul Vortex plus regeneration, and Divine Shield. I mean, I guess the fear aura of the helmet was also pretty important, but it's not like the guy had that much protection. It was like 20 protection or something. It wasn't that great, and the Foul Vapors didn't stick around for the entire battle, although it was there for a long time. Anyway, quite debilitating. This is me attempting to attack this underwater throne down here with this guy, this Vanadrot. So he's gonna boost himself up with Iron Skin, which is good because underwater, you know, your attack and defense skill take a little penalty, -3 from being underwater, but even still, it's pretty good. But 31 protection is crazy. Like, this is incredibly high protection. It's actually better, I think. Yeah, it's 32 in the body, 28 in the head, but you got to be, you know, bigger than him basically to be bonking him in the head. And these fish people are all size 2, so it's not going to happen. Now you may be saying, you may be screaming like, well, "This battle's insane! You're trying to fight these water mages," but all of them are merely water 1. And now that would be threatening if they boosted themselves to water 2 to summon water elementals, but they don't. The real problem is these are Shark Tribe Tritons, which means even if you don't kill them, they're going to go berserk, so they will always stick around. And their morale is already pretty good because it's a home province. And they have a huge amount of attacks. 2 coral knives, and a bite attack. So each square is outputting 9 attacks per turn. So if you're surrounded, I mean, like he's probably already received like 100 attacks at this point. Yeah, maybe hundreds of attacks. But it's incredible just how good 31 protection is, or 32 in the body. You can see like all these attacks, very, very easy to hit him when he's completely surrounded, but they can't pierce his armor. His defense skill has been reduced to 0. Now, unfortunately, sometimes the mechanics in Dominions 5 are ultimately random chance in some of them. I mean, there's a lot of dice rolling, is what I mean to say. So there's always a possibility that you can get a lucky random crit. And when you're putting out hundreds of attacks, maybe, thousands of attacks, really, the odds of you getting a crit are basically guaranteed. And he can't kill them very fast. And then his mist form is gone, and then he is dead. This is very expensive, losing a Vantage Rot, slow to recruit, mage, along with like 30 gems worth of items or something, killing effectively nothing. So pretty terrible disaster. Speaking of disasters, this one's not really as monumental, but I did send this Van Heersen to die. So here's what Miquelin's got inside of Miquelin. Nothing, really. Like some clockwork soldiers, whatever. Fire Drake. This guy doesn't matter. This dude doesn't matter that much. This guy, this researcher, and commander. Now, of course, the just make sure there's nothing hiding behind the rock. The big threat is this guy, of course, the world's largest loaf of bread. Pretty frightening. 540 HP is very good. And he's casting Fire Shield, his Body Ethereal, Astral Shield, Temper Flesh. So even if you could penetrate his protection, which is 32, I mean, we already saw how good 31 was. Even if you can penetrate his protection, he's cutting your damage in half with these resistances. I'm not really sure what I expected the Van Heerst to do. I mean, he should have just been retreated. He should have been retreating, of course. But this is pretty scary. I already knew that this existed, but I think, as I mentioned in the last video, I just forgot that this rock was here. Obviously, a quite grievous error, but this is where we are. So, this thing's scary. Very tanky, great MR, really high morale, super high HP. And it probably has all sorts of like irritating little zap spells when you get close to him. And on top of that, I'm losing more units to the bug zapper from Vanheim. Marignon, that's what I meant. Picked up some unrest and lost some taxes. And Zabalba lost 2 more provinces to independence. I feel like he's just been super duper unlucky with that. Like, it's just constant. Feels like every single turn he loses a province to independence or something. Just seems very unlucky. But apart from that, we're cracking down some forts, sieging. We won over here. It wasn't really this battle I skipped over. There wasn't really anything to see. But now we have access to the Demon Gate, so I'm sending a guy over here, I don't know why with fair gems, to enter and produce a Fiend of Darkness every turn, which will be a very lucrative long-term investment. I'm sieging over here. I probably shouldn't be preaching. I mean, I guess there's not a huge rush to break down these walls, but the preaching doesn't really make as much sense. Should just be sieging with all of them. I think if you're preaching, your siege strength does not contribute, so it's a bit of a waste to do that. And these guys, I'm walking them, the human troops, back over here to 260 because, of course, and the majority of the elf forces I'm moving over here to 235 because none of these troops are going to help me kill that rock. Like, none of these human troops are going to do anything. These guys, like these elves, they can't do anything. They can't pierce 32 protection. And even if they can, they're not going to do 540 damage before the thing kills them, with fire shields and astral shields. I'm going to try to clean up these frost fiends over here with this guy. So anyway, better to have these units working on cracking these forts. Anyway, at home in the lab, I am blowing a ludicrous amount of air gems. Way too many air gems. Maybe like 60 air gems on Call of the Winds. Not like it's a horrible spell, and I'm casting it on provinces where I'm intending to blood hunt, which is why I'm also casting Pack of Wolves in those provinces. That's what the wolves are there for, to help patrol down unrest that my blood hunters are going to generate. And over here I'm forging sanguine dowsing rods, that way I can accumulate more blood slaves. But it's super wasteful. Like, there's no reason to be casting Call of the Winds, because I think I'm really close to the yeah. I could just get great eagles, and these things are they're way better for this purpose for patrolling, and they're so much cheaper. You know, well, I mean, okay, like on this screen, maybe it doesn't seem that great, but like the amount of patrol power that you get from Call of the Winds is like the air gem to patrol investment is not good with Call of the Winds compared to Summon Great Eagles, which makes sense, given that it's a late game spell. Definitely should just be. I could just get Construction or Conjuration 6 this very turn. Maybe instead of Enchantment 7, just go like so. Blood Magic 8 for all the Blood Magic stuff. Now Enchantment. I think this is for Earthblood Deepwell. Yeah, definitely for that one. And Construction 7, of course, for Golems, because it's just a really powerful chassis to use. Also, Weapons of Sharpness is a very good spell. Very important spell to have. Otherwise, I am researching. I'm site searching. This is my gem income. I don't think it's changed since last turn. Not really. I'm continuing to research, forging Amulets of Anti-Magic and casting Pack of Wolves. I don't know why this guy's blood hunting with Unrest 57. There's no way he's going to succeed. I mean, even with these guys patrolling, there's no way they're going to patrol 57 Unrest away in one turn. Got a lot of blood hunters here in this province, though. 189. Kind of a dangerous spot to be blood hunting. Right next to the frog. But anyway, that's just the way it is. I'm forging another Sanguine Dowsing Rod here and a Lightless Lantern. Something else I probably should also be doing is forging the booster item. Yeah, this Bloodthorn. So that way I can boost more of my Blood ones to 2. And then they could cast a Bindstorm Demon. Because it's kind of slow to get these, because you only get one every time you do it. But it's not that many Blood Slaves, and they're a super strong unit. Like, it's very good to get Storm Demons. So the more of those +1 blood boosting items I had, or have in my possession, I should say, the more Storm Demons I can produce, because I can have my Air 2 Blood ones become 2/2. But I'm just having them Blood Hunt, which, I mean, I think that's also fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with using them to Blood Hunt either. Site searching around here. I claimed this underwater province. Probably should have had this guy site search instead of run away. Still don't have this throne yet. Not really excusable at this point. Definitely should have it already. Forging a Bag of Winds. A useful item. Again, probably not what I should be doing with my Pretender at this moment in time. Probably should be summoning Father Illerth, or Archdevil. These are limited commanders, so that definitely would have been more useful to do that first instead of forging a Bag of Winds. Not that a Bag of Winds is useless. I'll be able to get to Air 6, yeah, and then I can cast the Air Queens and do whatever I want. And I'm just having the vampires summon more vampires because that's what you do when you got vampires. You summon more of them. But regarding dealing with Miquelin's Pretender, I don't think I'm making any efforts currently to remove his Pretender. I suppose that's why, if we get rid of Conjuration, why I'm going for Construction 7, because I imagined in my head like a couple golems equipped with rock smashing gear running up and breaking his Pretender. But this is still many turns away, Like, I mean, I'll be researching Enchantment 7 next turn, and then we gotta go Construction halfway, and then we gotta get it the turn after that, so just kind of a slow process, and I probably could just get away with like 10 or 15 of these, and they're pretty cheap. Like 10, 15 Van Heers just smashing his Pretender God over and over again. Could work, I think. Forging bottles of water. Is anything going on politically? Let's see. No, I suppose not. Man is almost certainly dead by this point. He's almost certainly gone. Um, yeah, just keeping this scout here to see what goes on with Naba. Abyssia is pulling his forces back, and I think I convinced him that Naba is the true dangerous threat, the greater threat between myself and him. Or maybe I just strong armed him into thinking Naba's the threat. I mean, regardless, the important thing is that he just leaves me alone. You know, like whatever he wants to do with his units, I don't really care as long as they're not attacking me. Then it's fine. But I totally screwed him in this war. I mean, I defeated his enemy, which I suppose is a that's a moral victory, but he got nothing. Like, he got no ground out of it. Maybe he took this province. I don't remember if Abyssia owned this province or if Mictlan owned it. Regardless, it was an extremely costly war, and the benefits received were nothing. Nothing at all. I mean, the biggest benefit that Abyssia got, maybe if you can consider it a benefit, is that I I felt like I had to help him out. So, I mean, I'm Abyssia's staunch ally, and I will help him in all regards. Diplomatically, economically, you know, send him gems or whatever if he asks for it, or doing trades. I was open to all these things. Probably would have just been better for him if he took all this stuff instead of me. Instead of me just like swiping all of Mictlan's provinces in a single turn. Yeah, so over here I have no scouting information, but I have to assume that Abyssia, or Gartha I should say, is not winning because it's kind of a stalemate. Also, here is Vanrus's Pretender God, the keeper of the bridge, same as Jotunheim. Rest in peace. But we'll see what happens. So the big battle was here. No, it was here. Whoa. Yeah. So he walked his army over here into 94, and Zabalba sent a couple mages to attack him. This must be post battle. So this is what remained, right? Interesting. Is this what remained? Or is this just what hung back? 45 Oathbound? Maybe he moved troops over here from Jotunheim to this province? Because, I mean, that seems crazy to imagine, like, his Vanabogs and, like, all his other mages, except for this trio, all of them died retreating. Like, every single one of them died, because they have nowhere else to go. They can't retreat to these provinces, so they have to retreat here. And since they're not here in this battle report, does that mean they died, or they just don't participate in the battle? I'm not sure. Maybe these units were always here. Not really. I wasn't really paying attention to the peculiarities of Vanarus's troop deployment. At this point, I mean, there are 4 nations that can conceivably win the game. Myself, Zabalba, Marignan, Naba. Nobody else has a hope in hell of winning the game. They can maybe act as a spoiler nation. I think I already went over this point before, but basically, with that in mind, I always wanted to be as pro small nation as I possibly could be, because I want those small nations that I don't, in my estimation, don't have a chance of victory to be on my side, because they're useful allies. They still have power. They can still make someone win or lose. They're not, like, irrelevant to the game state or anything. Like, Abyssia could definitely, if Abyssia and, I don't know, Marignan coordinated, they could kill me. Probably, I would say. Yeah, I mean, tons of my assets are committed up here in the burning hot north of Mictlan. If they attacked me, I don't know. I mean, I could probably put up a resistance, but I don't think I would win. I think I would ultimately lose a lot. Maybe I could get to the point where we have some sort of draw position if only because of the geography here. It would be very irritating for Marignan to attack me because of this annoying noodle shape that my country is in. Like, he could take all this stuff pretty easily, but I think he would get, like, clogged up in this highway. Same thing goes for Abyssia. He has, like, this port that connects over here, and he has this stuff, but this also connects to this fort. So as long as I owned this fort, I think it would be very hard for him to do anything. I mean, Abyssia does have flying commanders, so... Anyway, I'm just, postulating of things that could have happened, or, if Zabalba and Agartha teamed up against me. There was lots of permutations that this could have gone down in ways that would have been very bad for me. So I always went out of my way to be an assistant to any of the small nations, including Van Roos. Even though Van Roos and I don't border each other, maybe never will border each other, considering how far away we are, I still wanted to be friendly because their influence is real. It's regional. It's limited to Marignan and Zabalba and Flegra, and nobody else. But that still made a difference. Like, there's a lot of troops here. That the Frog is committing to hold this position. Anyway, we're done rambling. That's the end of this video.